Well, staying with election issues, the need to promote social justice by tackling issues such as poverty, exclusion, gender inequality, unemployment, and human rights have been brought to the fore as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to commemorate World Day of Social Justice, marked on February the 20th annually. The representatives of civil society organizations are calling on governments at all levels to do more to end all forms of social injustices in the country. Being joined by Newton Otsemaye, Social Mobilisation Specialist, ActionAid Nigeria. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Newton.
you. Thank you for having me.
Well, today is World Social Justice Day. Now, it so happens to also be a day before the FCT Council polls. If you want to look at the two of them, in terms of when we talk about elections and social justice, would you say that Nigeria has been pursuing social justice in any way?
Not really. It's laughable because it's difficult for someone to really situate the reality on ground with social justice. If we go by the definition of social justice, because social justice strongly is connected to just, it's connected to inclusivity, it's connected to equitable society, as it were. So, election process in Nigeria, do we agree generally that it's just? I doubt. Do we agree it's equitable? I doubt. Do we agree it's inclusive? I doubt. So, yeah, there's a gap between what social justice stands for and the kind of elections we have in Nigeria present.
Well, in this call that being made by civil society, tackling issues of poverty, exclusion, gender inequality, unemployment, and human rights, it's only the, in quote, elected in office that can sort of handle these issues. It looks as if these issues are issues on the table of the elected officials or public officers to handle. But that is not the situation. So what would you be saying to those who are seeking for office now, even saying to the rest of the country, even those in the private sector? But what would you be saying to them in terms of tackling issues of inequality, gender inequality?
I think I've argued strongly before that in Nigeria we really don't have problem with the good intentions from government. We don't have problem with their rhetorics. The only problem is translating these intentions and rhetorics into actions that will benefit the people. Have we got plans? Yes, we've had plans in the past, right from Obasanjo time. You have NEED, you have anti-SAP, you have all these programs we are designed to actually lift people out of poverty and make life better for people. As beautiful as those programs were, and as beautiful as those programs were with those government, the problem that we had has always been translating this program to the benefit of the people, as it were. So that has not happened. That disconnection is what civil society keep crying out for, to say, look, programs should be translated. Programs should be people-driven. I think that is the bottom line. It should be people-driven. It should not be political party-driven. It should not be individually driven. It should be people-driven. You know, the sense of why you are designing a program is to actually make it work for people in the society. When that is not happening, of course, you have a lot of resistance, you have a lot of agitations around, and that is what we are still experiencing today.
So even as we mark the 2026 Social Justice Day, what do we do? How do we move away from this space? Both, and in this case now, because sometimes we tend to shift everything and put it on the shoulders of those in office, because we'll say that they chose to come out and serve the people. But of course, every human being or every one of us has his own share of that responsibility. In what way can we manage this while we are looking to see those in public office take their place and lead? How can the rest of us even find our own space?
But our responsibility is clear, even in the Constitution. There are so many things that the government is supposed to provide for us. Our responsibility is to ensure that those things are there. And that is what I think Nigerians have been doing, to ask questions, to monitor government, to demand for accountability and transparency. That is our responsibility. So you have the supply and the demand side. The demand side is actually working. They are demanding, and the demands are not dropping. The supply is not actually flowing to see how the demand side can work in the society. But honestly, from the civil society angle or from the citizens angle, what they need to do is to really get organized properly and think of how to use the weapon that Constitution has provided for them, which is their vote, to either vote somebody who is not responsible, who's not responsive to their issues and plight out of power, or vote those who they think can actually provide their demands for them into power. So the power still relies on us to decide to make that decision. But on the contrary, also, that power also has been skewed. If you look at how elections are carried out in Nigeria, there'll be a lot of agitations around the Electoral Act 2026 that was just passed, bill that was just passed into law, that there was so much discretionary power given to people to decide the fate of millions of people in Nigeria, and that agitation has been very, very strong. So we are so concerned about where are the loopholes that empower ordinary people, that empower few people in the sense of it, because the social justice thing we are talking about is trying to bridge the gap between the have and the have-nots.
And yet that gap still
remains. Gap is
but
still there.
You know what? let me just ask you to hold your thoughts there. Let's look at this and then we'll come back, because this might help you answer the next question I'm about to ask you. Ahead of the February 21st area council elections in the Federal Capital Territory.